What's up, y'all? Another episode of Shoe Booty Sports coming at you on a Tuesday night, regular time, regular day. This is your host, Graham Powell, co-host Bradley Brown. Say hello, Brad.
What's happening?
Quick shout out to our sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. How it works is you visit their website, sign up for one or all five of their races there on the website. Run the race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app, screenshot your results with your phone, submit your results there at rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. After your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, Rhino Races will send you your award by mail. Check it out. They got medals, belt buckles, trophy style belt buckles, and visit their gear section too. T-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. Again, rhinoraces.com. All right, so we will start off Arkansas Liberty recap. Don't really want to talk about it, but we're going to. That's as bad of a first half as we've seen the Hogs play under Sam Pittman. Pittman said that pretty much verbatim in the press conference, post game presser. I didn't see his show, on Sunday or whatever it was, but I'm sure similar stuff was said. And you get a little context when you hear that from the players that Malik Hornsby was taking first team snaps all week. So they didn't know what to expect. And turns out KJ plays, which I said it during the game 30% KJ is still better than anybody we have. I like Malik Hornsby okay, but I don't think he is an SEC caliber starting quarterback, at least right now. I don't know what year he is, but he's not there yet.
No.
But 30% KJ, I'll still take him over anybody else we have at quarterback. And so I'm totally cool with him playing and wanting to play, showing his toughness there. But you could tell that he hadn't taken snaps all week. Everybody was off. The line was off. The line
The line, man.
line couldn't block, but it wasn't just that. There were just miscues on the snap, confusion between KJ and the line. They were just completely out of sync. It took them a half to get it together. Like Arkansas won the second half, but the damage had been done in the first half.
Yep.
So it was, yeah, Arkansas lost to Liberty. And Liberty's a good football team. That's the thing. It's not like they lost to a terrible team. I think they jumped up to what, 19?
I
Is
don't
that what
know.
I saw? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
19
know.
in the rankings. I mean, they're 8-1. It's a good football team.
It is a good football team, but nobody said anything about them getting an extra week of prep for Arkansas. But I mean, as good as Liberty played, Arkansas played just as bad, if not worse.
As
Like,
good as Liberty, as well as Liberty played, like it was the perfect storm for Liberty to win the game. Arkansas played piss poorly in the first half offensively. The defense is what it is. For what the defense is, I thought the defense played pretty well, especially in the second half. They're gonna leave
yeah,
guys open in the passing game. Their entire secondary is just completely banged up. But I like our linebacking core. I really like our linebacking core. That's about the only thing I just really like about our defense. But
man.
the defense is what it is. If you can't score more than 21 on Liberty, you're going to be in trouble.
I want to know
And
what I want to know what Raheem Sanders said to the offensive line before the game, like, because they weren't blocking for him for anything.
now, as soon as
And
soon as Raheem got the
what
ball, they were in the backfield. They
first
had him
four
wrapped up.
drives, negative 16 rushing yards. Like, the guy was leading the SEC in rushing, and he's negative 16 yards versus Liberty.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Arkansas's linemen were bigger. I mean, they were bigger
Oh yeah,
guys, but the more physical team was Liberty. And the
by far,
trenches,
man.
yeah, by far. Like it wasn't even close.
No,
That's the worst I've seen Arkansas play under Sam Pittman. And that's the other thing too. Pittman got out coached, just completely got outclassed by Hugh Freeze. And I don't just say outcoached, I say outclassed as in it was a different class of coaching. Of course, Sam Pittman's a classy guy and all that. It's not what I'm saying.
no.
He put on a master. Hugh Freeze put on a graduate level coaching class compared to what Sam Pittman's performance was. Sam Pittman, Browse, and that whole crew. It just wasn't. It
I mean,
was just not a good showing all around.
it's easy to look good whenever the other team shits the bed the first half.
That's true. But but it doesn't matter what play you call. It all starts up front. If you're not blocking, it doesn't matter what play you call. It's not going to work. And
No,
Arkansas was getting beat up front. Our offensive line, which averages across the line at 6'6", 316 pounds, got their asses kicked Saturday.
hand it to them.
Not another way to say it. Not a polite way to say it. Got their asses kicked by a smaller, better coached football team. They had and it shouldn't matter that Liberty had an extra week. Yeah, it helps, of course, but it shouldn't matter. Arkansas should still take care of business against a team like that. It's a disappointing loss. Not just that they lost, but how they lost.
Dude, I knew we were going to go down there and score the touchdown and not get the 2 point, just because I knew it hurt so much more. So it fit right in.
I
with
was
being
nervous.
an Arkansas fan.
I was certainly
like,
nervous.
We'll get it, but we won't get the 2 point.
I kind of thought that. I'd kind of forgotten like that we had to go for two. For whatever reason, I just wasn't doing the math right. I was thinking we were just going to have to go down and score. And then it just hit me. It was like, oh, wait, it's 19. Yeah, we're going to have to go for two. Oh, yeah, we're in trouble. A lot of people didn't like the play call. I actually liked the play call.
I liked it.
It's KJ. You got a big quarterback.
And if he would have done that thing that we don't like him to do, it would have counted. If he would have extended that damn ball.
Well, I don't know. It probably would have gotten knocked out,
I still think I don't know, man. Yeah, if it would have been called good on the field, there wouldn't have been anything to reverse it. Just like there wasn't anything. Yeah, it was just too close to.
Watching it live, did you think he got in? Honestly,
yeah, from the live view, I was like, no, they're not going to give it to us.
I didn't. I thought he was short. I thought it was a good call live.
I thought it was like live. I thought he was about that freaking short.
That's about short. That's about how short he was. Like it.
Yeah, just right there, man.
And Landers was in the way of that one shot, so you couldn't see it. But they did have like the pylon cam, and it looked like, and it's like you said, if they would have called it good, there would not have been enough there to overturn it. But it works the same way as if you call him short. There wasn't enough there to overturn it. I thought it's probably.
I mean, yeah, because it's tough, man. Because whenever he comes to arrest, I mean, his whole arm and the ball completely is in the end zone. But yeah, I figured it was just bam. Just
you never know when his knee's down. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of course, Homer fans are like, just they're showing the replay or they're showing the still shot of him like over the pylon, but he's already all the way down. Like you're not taking into consideration the part where his knee hits. When his knee hits, the play's over. Like that's where you judge, where the ball is. As soon as the knee hits. I thought it was a good call. And it wasn't enough there to overturn it. I don't mind, them lobbying for it, just doing what coaches do, what Brian Kelly does every single play. It feels like we'll get to that game a little later. Okay, so that was going to be my question, whether or not you thought he was in, but I'm going to throw this out there. Of course, we would both probably let's see how you respond to this because I haven't talked to you about it. Should Pittman's seat be getting warm?
No.
I agree.
Hard no. He should put his coordinator in check, but hard no.
And that's the thing. I'm sure Pittman does stuff behind the scenes that he doesn't want out there. He doesn't want to show up his staff. He doesn't want to, necessarily show up his players, but especially he doesn't want to show up his staff. I'm sure stuff is done behind closed doors. I only ask that question because I'm already seeing it. Of course, social media, you're going to see You're going to see what some people's opinions are. The loudest people are really going to try to make their voice heard,
Dude,
and the
our
loudest
fan,
people are often the
yeah,
dumbest people in the room. But I'm already seeing it. That's why you don't give a coordinator an extension that early and all this stuff. People have a very short memory. They forget where
they
we
do.
came from.
Yeah. They're almost as delusional as Auburn fans, man. Like
Oh yes, Arkansas
it's
fans are
it's ridiculous. And
some
you can
are
watch it. I mean, just take the
arguably the
game.
worst.
Yeah, they arguably the worst. They forget where we're at just a handful of years ago. Just dude, steaming pile of yeah, just terrible to watch. And then we like take last weekend's game. They can't even our fans can't even stick around in the stands the whole freaking game. Like, are you kidding?
I didn't even see that, but I mean,
Dude,
I believe it.
like half of them left. I mean, you've been to Arkansas game. Hell, in the third late in the third quarter, man, it's like, okay, either we're getting our asses kicked, we'll go tailgate, or we're up a lot, we'll go tailgate some more. Like nobody sticks around the whole damn game. I mean, they do, like, but only like half of them do, man. I don't know. I just have a problem with our fans not sticking around the complete game, but they bought the tickets, they can stay as however long they want to.
I
Their
feel
money.
like I feel like every fan base is every team has that though. Remember Saban talking about stay the whole game, even if we're. I mean, Alabama fans even do that. So that's not what that doesn't really bother me. Of course, I wish they would stay the whole game like you, but it's just the stupidity. I can't think of can't think of another way to
Yeah,
say it.
yeah, a great way to describe it. I
The
mean,
stupidity of
stupidity, the ignorance.
like what even last year I saw a guy we went to school with, I won't say who, but he had said something about no way you give Pittman an extension. This was after a 9-4 season and winning every meaningful game,
Yep.
including the bowl game. I wanted to slap him through the Facebook. You know, like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Like, people are so quick to forget how far how bad it was. But it's a goofy fan base. Like when Petrino left, when Petrino got fired.
Yeah.
uh, people were flooding my timeline with we're gonna be fine. Everybody's coming back. We'll be fine. We got all the corners. We'll be fine. We know how that turned out. They end up 4-8, and it was a shit show.
The John L.
Yes,
No.
yeah. Went 4-8 that year. Of
Wow.
course, he doesn't come back, and
What?
Bielema comes in 3-9, 7-6.
I really want to Bielema to work. Freaking-
We all wanted Bielema to work. We all wanted it to work. And it looked like and it was trajecting, upward. But 8-5 was as best as it got. When Brandon Allen left, it was all down. We even started well though the next year with Austin Allen. We were at the Florida game where we trampled them pretty much, but
Oh yeah.
that was the high point. And then when they blow that lead against a bad Missouri team, and then it carried over into the bowl game, blow another lead, and then you finish 4-8, and you cap the season giving up 700 yards. A lot of people, our own fan base, and we were at that game, ripped the move to fire him there on the field or whatever it was. I was like, man, as soon as they hit 700 yards, they should have fired him. As soon as they hit 700 total yards on the
Yeah.
scoreboard, that's when, all
Yep.
right, you're done.
You're
You're
done.
done. Go clean out your office. You're done. Everybody talks about how great of a guy Bielema is. Nobody's disputing that. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He's a good talker. He talked himself into the Arkansas job.
Yeah.
Among others. But
Hey, everything's working out for him now. So
yeah, although they did get beat
yeah.
Saturday. Who did they lose to? Because they were 6-1. He's a Big Ten coach. He needs to stay in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who they lost to, but I don't think they were supposed to be losing to him.
They shouldn't have. I can't. I just remember seeing that. I remember thinking, that's not a very good loss there. I didn't watch much of the game. Just kept up with the score a little bit. But just a quick little flashback of Arkansas fan base. Yeah, well, there's some as a whole, they can be as bad as any of them, as some of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so my first pick, my first prediction that took an L. So here, where's that little Bills kid? Just that did the L dance
Yeah.
after like a Rogers sack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do that for me. I'll take my L. All right, so first wrong prediction of the year. Try to make up for that this on this week's show. But one thing I was right about, Astros in 6. Now I was pulling for the Phillies, but I called it. Astros beat them in 6. Houston was the better team. They're just the better team. Phillies were hot there. They had a puncher's chance there in the first 2 games, and it was cool to see just the home run fest they had in like game 3, I think it was. Harper comes up like the first inning or whatever, and like Barstool put out that whole video of Harper in the bat or in the on deck circle, then his music hits, and he just walks up to the plate, MVP chant, and then like first pitch
First pitch, bam.
into the seats, and then the place just erupts. Like it was one of the coolest, I don't know, 90 seconds or whatever it was of video footage you can see. But yeah, Houston wins it. Baseball's officially over. The little the video footage of like Kate Upton during the games, that was pretty entertaining. Of course, she's beautiful and awesome to look at, but her going back and forth with Phillies fans, flipping the bird at them and having words back and forth, that was very entertaining. And did you see the interview where she was with like A-Rod and Ortiz and crew?
Yeah.
Did you see that? And she was just talking about, oh, I just like, because they were talking about him retiring, and she had said, no, I don't. I want him to do what he loves, and I'm fully supportive. And just what he does is like an art, and all just completely just lauding. Her. Are they married? Verlander, her and
Yeah.
Verlander.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a kid. I know that, but yeah, Verlander's won life. By the way, I mean he's just completely just the biggest W in life. Like this, his second World Series. Married the hottest chick on the planet. That's what at least tied with anybody else who would be considered.
Yeah.
Like that should be unanimous.
Mm.
And of course the the Barstool tweet of that interview is Brady's just got to be watching this punching air right now watching this. And I thought that myself, but Brady looked like Brady again in the last
90
whatever it
seconds.
was.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that. It was like 56 seconds or whatever it was. It was no, I think they got the ball with 44 seconds left. And Brady took them down and scored and there were 9 seconds to spare. No timeouts. Of course, just awful defense, awful
Yeah.
defensive strategy. But
Go play prevent against Tom Brady. Yeah, good job.
we're going to
See how
leave the
that works out for
sidelines.
you.
We're going to leave the middle of the field open, and then we're going to leave the sidelines open after that. It was just the perfect storm for Brady to be Brady, and Brady made it look super easy.
Super
He
easy.
made it look so easy. But we got to see a little bit of Tom Brady, and B-Rye came over and watched the game. Like came over and watched football, brought me my mail, and just sat. We watched football for a while, and he's like, "Man, this is a boring game." I was like, "Yeah, it is." It was a boring game, and of course he leaves, and shortly after he leaves, that happens. I call him like, "Hey," and of course he only lives like 5 minutes away. I was like, "Turn your TV on this game. It just got interesting." And he turns it on like right as I think it was right after they scored, essentially. That I kind of went over what happened. Very boring game up until that point. But yeah, we got to see Brady be Brady a little bit. Somebody that hasn't looked like themselves, Aaron Rodgers. Packers 3-6 now. Man, He's really missing Devontae Adams. I did hear that the Packers at least made an attempt to go get like a Claypool,
I bet they
and
didn't.
that's what's out there.
They
And
didn't try that hard.
another tight end. Oh well, obviously not hard enough. Obviously not hard enough. But they don't have the players, man.
No,
People are ripping Rodgers, but it's like, what do you expect him to do? Now Rodgers hasn't changed. His weirdness is amplified a little bit more because they're losing, but but it's you can't put this on Rodgers completely. Like a lot of people he's part of the problem, and I would say the part of that would be the problem would be just his personality. You know, he's going to kind of put you in the doghouse, not talk to you for a while if you screw up, as opposed to like when Andrew Luck in their bowl game when he was at Stanford his last year. I think he threw a ball to a guy and he pulled a Trey Knox and it bounced out of his hands into a defender's hands. And just Luck goes over there and just pats him on the shoulder. And it's like, you know, that's just his way of saying, don't worry about it. We'll get the next one. You don't see that kind of stuff from Aaron Rodgers. When things
no.
go poorly, his attitude is that it's poor, you know. And as a competitor, I mean, you see, Brady's not that, you know, Brady's more like that than than like he's going to go over there and tell you, get him next time. Yeah, Brady's going to yell at you and get in your face too.
Yeah, possibly throw a tablet at you.
Yeah, or that. So I can understand it, but it's not all. It's like Rodgers could do some things better, but it's like I said, who's he got? Who's their best receiver? Can you name him?
Lazard.
Yeah, okay. What would Lazard be on another team? Like on a good football team,
Third
what would he
option.
be? Third? Yeah, I'd say like two at best, but I would say he would be a solid three for sure.
Yeah, solid 3, man. Like, yeah.
So I think they're done. I think the Packers are done.
Oh yeah,
We're at
they
the point
done.
in the season where we see what teams are. The Bucks could still win the South. Like that's the thing. They could still win the South. I think they're a game back of couldn't even tell you who it is. But at 4-5, yeah, they could still easily win the South. Like it's a 17 game season. It's weird to say, but it's still kind of early. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll jump to the more NFL stuff later on. But let's talk about LSU and Alabama. That was the game of the week in college, pro, whatever. That was really the only game that that was a good game that I saw anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that really stood out to me and everybody else, you know. But Bama's not as good as they usually are, and LSU is ahead of schedule, obviously. But they've clearly become a different team than getting blown out by. I'd forgotten that they had gotten blown out by Tennessee. You know what? About a month ago or whatever it was.
Is that is that who they lost to?
Well, they lost to Florida State in the opener, and that was a nail biter.
Yeah.
And that was a wild game. Just a wild like final 2 minutes. And then they just get blown out by Tennessee. But they're a completely different team now. And of course they beat Alabama. They just look like a different ball club. And leading the West right now, I believe, right?
Yeah. The secondary is looking pretty good. It's,
The quarterback's looking good.
quarterback's looking pretty good too, but they've got some guys on their secondary that we sure could need this year. But
Yeah, but all right, so LSU's ahead of schedule. We can we can forget we're steadily forgetting about Brian Kelly's off season, fake accents and awkward dancing with his
Yeah, I forgot
players.
about that.
I didn't. It's like ingrained in my memory. I want it to
Oh,
leave.
I can see it right now, but yeah, I'd kind of forgotten about it.
I would like to, but he
And
keeps winning like this. I probably will. Other things will be talked about, but uh, yes, I mean, you knew he was going to win some games. I just didn't think it would be this quick.
no, like I thought next year he would win some games, but
I figured by year 3 they would be doing pretty well. Looks like by year 2 they're going to be doing very well.
yeah,
But and he even admitted it ahead of schedule. So, and we get those guys and by we I mean Arkansas. We get them it's at least at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Saturday. It's at in Fayetteville, correct?
yeah,
All right, we'll go ahead and do our prediction for that. Who you got? Should be an easy one.
man, yeah, that's gonna be like a yee
Yeah, it'll be like that.
38-21, something like that. LSU.
I like that score. What was the final score at Bama? Was it? Do you remember?
Huh?
I
Are
think that
there
was a no.
what? The
Do you remember the
LSU Bama?
score? Yeah,
Uh, like 32-31 or something like that.
it could be accurate actually. Oh, that was a good score. What'd you say? 38-21?
32. Oh yeah, I said 38-21.
Man, that's a good score. Uh,
But Vegas only has it as a 3.5 point spread. So
I'm gonna say
of course they
41.
also had us as a 15-point favorite, and what the hell do they know? So
Man, they're not right about everything. I'm gonna go 41-27 LSU. I really like your score though. That's probably what I would have said had you not said it. I didn't want to say the exact like that. I'm gonna go with that score. I'll say 41-27. I think Cam Little kick a couple of long field goals for us, and I don't think we're going to be able to stop the LSU quarterback. So I feel good about it. 41-27 LSU. And
I
as
think
bad
it's
as Arkansas has it right now, losing to Liberty, they're still at 5-4. All right, hypothetical. How do we see the not even hypothetical. How do we see the rest of the season panning out for Arkansas?
lost to LSU,
Yeah, we have that one.
lost to Ole Miss,
Agree.
and man,
Like
I know we
Missouri's
can
not
beat
a gimme.
Missouri. I know we can beat Missouri, but who knows what team's going to show up, and that's at Missouri, right? So, or no,
I believe
that's
so.
yeah, it might be okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, see us, I don't know, 6-6, man.
I see that too. All right, now if say we finish 6-6, Arkansas gets to the bowl game, who the CarQuest Bowl or whatever it is, and they win that and go 7-6 on the year. Is it a good year, all things considered? And by that I mean taking into consideration
Yes, I mean because
injuries to the secondary.
I would say yeah, I'd say it has to be. I mean, we're expecting what a 9-win team. I mean, with no
I was
injuries.
not. I was
I mean,
not.
but that's what a lot of people were saying, and there's a lot of high. There's expectations were kind of high this season. I mean, just
A lot of
because
people were
last season.
saying a lot of people were saying 10 wins.
Oh yeah, I was one of them saying 9 wins with the bowl game, but
Yeah, I did say that. I did say 9 wins with the bowl game. That's correct. Yeah. You're right.
I mean, yeah, expectations were high, but shit, dude, when you don't have a defense or a secondary, I mean, we got pretty solid linebackers. Our D line, they can show up whenever they want to, but man, that secondary is just
Linebackers are stout. Drew Sanders is as good as anybody as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
top linebacker prospect for the draft. So,
An absolute beast.
well,
But but he's not dropping back in coverage every play either. He's not covering the number one wideouts either. So
no. But apparently we're getting wide receiver recruits to play defense, and they're actually, coming up with picks during the game. So good stuff.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. If we're 7-6, if we finish the year 7-6, I'm good with that. I'd say, all right, all things considered, it was an all right year. It was okay. And you win the bowl game. It's a good way to end the year. You got a winning record. You have to consider that how beat up they were in the secondary. You're gonna
Yeah,
get KJ back. KJ's gonna come back. I thought he would come back regardless, but he's definitely coming back now.
yeah,
It would have been a mistake had he tried to leave early because he would have pulled a Jevin Sneed from Ole Miss. Probably would have gone to the draft and then just not get drafted. Jevin Sneed. Haven't heard that name in a while, have you?
nope.
And it's probably the last you'll hear that name for a while too on any of these shows. He was a good college quarterback, but Google it for those of you who can't remember who that is. All right, so in other news, A&M loses their fifth straight game now.
Should be sixth straight game.
Yeah, Arkansas didn't play well enough to win. They didn't play well enough to win that game. I'll give A&M that one. So how long do you and they lost their first they got their first decommitment, 5-star decommitment I think a couple of days ago. So when does and all you see anytime you hear this is this is how much this is how much you got to pay him if you fire him now. This is how much his buyout is now. That's all you hear every time we see yet another loss by A&M.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many years are left on that deal. But when do you pull the when do you pull the plug if you're A&M? I think it's going to have to be another year
Oh,
like
it's
this
gonna
next
have
year.
to. Yeah, it's gonna have to be next season with pretty much the same result. Because yeah, they they gave him an extension for no freaking reason. I mean, they dug their hole themselves, man. That's yeah.
Well, they
They're
saw they saw how high they were in the recruiting rankings year in year out. So they're like, this is eventually going to add up. Like we're
yeah.
eventually going to get something out of this. And they just
As long as you don't have an asshat as a head coach, yeah. but
yeah,
but hey,
well, he can recruit, but he
he,
just got his first decommitment, so that might be a snowball effect. So I'm like you. It would have to be another year like this one. Like if this happens next year, they're in the same spot next year. He's gone. They're going to pay him whatever they have to. They
yeah.
got the money. It's a lot of money, but they have the money to just be like, all right, we're just gonna cut our losses and go see what else is out there. That's still pretty wild though, man. 5 straight now. A&M is lost. Do you know who
Yeah.
they have Saturday? I'd like for it to kind of be 6.
No, I do not. Who they have?
Well, I don't know. I was genuinely asking.
Oh, I thought you had like a some in the bag. You want to
I
do some
mean, I
surprises.
got my topic list here, but I don't have that. I didn't care enough to look that up. I just wanted to see if it would definitely be 6 straight or not. But okay, and
Let's see.
it's not that
Oh,
important.
they're probably gonna win. They're playing UMass.
Now, if they lose that one,
Oh,
he very well could be gone
never
after
mind.
yesterday.
They're playing Auburn.
Where did you get UMass?
I looked at the wrong damn square. They're playing Auburn. They're
Okay,
playing UMass
it's like
the following week.
okay. I was like, it's kind of a
And
random
they're playing
opponent
at
anyway.
Auburn. So, dude, I'm saying Auburn's gonna beat A&M.
Hey,
Cadillac's got them play it, dude.
Cadillac has got them
Dude,
playing hard at least.
they should have got South Carolina, but I say
Yeah,
that they didn't show up in overtime, but they made it a game, man.
he's got them playing hard. You got to give him credit there. All right, but in other news, Georgia hammers Tennessee. That went about like I thought it would. feel the
I
same?
didn't think. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that nasty, but that got out of hand quick.
I thought it would be a better game. Yeah, now that I think about it, I thought it would be a better game, but I thought Georgia would win the game, and
Yeah,
I thought they'd win by a couple of possessions, and they did, but it was over before that. It was
yeah,
an ass kicking essentially. But
yeah. Being moved
Tennessee,
from their number one spot, yeah, pissed them off pretty good, and they showed it. So,
yeah, I I understood it.
oh yeah,
Tennessee had the more proven track record, and Alabama was still kind of considered to be Alabama up until this loss against LSU last week. They clearly look to be down as opposed to what they normally are, which is just
yeah.
the cream of the crop, the
They're
standard.
they're off year. Pretty much anyone else would kill for.
Yes, you're right about that.
Man,
All right, all right, the other game, Clemson gets smashed by Notre Dame. I watched what I could stand of that game. It's time, man. It's
yeah,
time for
it was time
Dabo.
for it.
It's time for Dabo to pull DJ5, sit him down. You don't have an offense with him on the field. You really haven't all year. You've just played poor competition all year. Now he has little glimpses of playmaking, but now the Klubnik kid when he came in, did you see any of the game?
Now I watched probably the last 5 minutes of it,
All right, well
like just flipping back and forth. But
Klubnik, the freshman, standout.
yeah,
He comes in and it's whatever it is. I can't even remember what the score was. 14-0, maybe 17, and they're just not moving the ball. Klubnik comes in, rolls left, just runs all over the place left, like doesn't stay in the pocket or even maneuver in the pocket, just immediately goes to running, left. And then just turns, he's right-handed, turns as he's rolling left, throws just a prayer, and it of course gets picked off deep into Clemson territory. So then he comes out of the game, one play, one possession, and DJ5 goes back in. At that point, I don't know. We're at the point. I know he didn't play well for that one play, but he's a freshman. He's going to make mistakes. Give him all the reps this week. I mean, sure, give DJ5 some, but give Klubnik the majority of the reps this week. Go with him. It's time to make a quarterback change in Clemson. It's because you're not getting the playoff now. You're not getting in the playoff now. You have no shot, and they wouldn't have made any noise if they did get in the playoff. So
no,
go with the younger guy. You got nothing to lose now. Go with the younger guy. Get him better. And just start working towards strengthening your, I don't know, finishing your season on a high note, and then having something to really look forward to next season. All right, this is going to be the end of part one. A little bit of part two coming at you.